Alrighty guys, welcome to another episode of I Never Met a Stranger I Didn't Like, and we've gone a little further away from home, and we are at the historical Admiral Twin Drive In, and I've got the owner, Blake Smith, here with me today. Yeah. How are you doing today?
I'm doing good.
Awesome.
Nice to see you.
Nice to see you too, man. Hey, I appreciate you taking the time to come out here and let me come and sit here and talk to you, get to know you a little bit, because I mean, this place, if you grew up around here, you've been here, you've driven past it multiple times. This is very nostalgic for us growing up in Tulsa, you know?
Yeah, I think so. I mean, we've been here since 1951, and 244 came in the mid 60s. Everybody's got to drive past it to get to the airport, you know? I mean, so it's 26 acres, and this is our 75th year. So, it's good times.
Yeah, it's always something to see when you're driving by at night, especially to see, just going down the road, see all the cars parked out there.
Yeah.
You've got the projectors going, the movies are rolling, and it's pitch black, but you just see this bright light coming from the side of the highway.
Yeah.
It is so cool.
Yeah, I think so too. I
love
agree.
it. And it's funny, think about, you said 1951.
Yeah.
There wasn't all this here. Like you said, the highway wasn't here. All this was here. Everything's kind of grown up around the Admiral Twin a little bit. The neighborhoods and stuff were here, but it's kind of
a little bit. We're not far from downtown, so we used to connect to Admiral. That's why it's called the Admiral Twin Drive In. And then, like I say, the 244 coming in the mid '60s, they had to kind of change the way you get in here. But I guess so. People. I don't know, neighborhoods and stuff. It's weird that it's been here this long in some ways,
It says something. We had a little incident back in
2010.
It was 2010, was it? I couldn't remember if it was 2009 or 2010.
Yep.
I remember that, but we saw everybody was like, we got to save this thing. We got to bring it back. They were really working with you.
They really were. Yeah.
It was. It's very important to this area, I think, and I bet you hear that a lot. People are like, man, that place means something to me, or things like that.
Yes, I do. I think of it, very much kind of as an icon. There's not a lot of legacy businesses that last 75 years. No. When it burned down in 2010, it was, it was a weird time. Mm-hmm. It was an old wood structure, and it had stood for, I guess, 60 years at that point. That was probably our 60th year. And I think that was our anniversary year. When it happened, I really didn't know what we were going to do. I know you didn't necessarily ask that.
What was going through your mind when that happened?
I was at one of my other theaters. I had a couple other indoor movie theaters at that time. Mm-hmm. And, it was a very long, I had one in Jenks. I was at Jenks, and an assistant that was working with me, and she got a phone call from somebody had come out here and said that the screen tower was burning, and she screamed. I heard her scream, and I was like, what? And she was like, the Admiral's on fire, and so we had to drive all the way from Jenks. It was the longest, I'd made that trip a million times.
But it seemed like it took for hours.
Yeah, it did. And you could see as soon as I got onto 169, where it kind of curves there at Memorial, you could see the smoke. So I could see the smoke.
And you're
for
just
that 7, 8, 10 miles. You could just see it.
That whole way you're going, you're just like, oh my gosh, oh my gosh.
Yeah. My life changed pretty much overnight right then. And it went down pretty fast. And the media also was out there, had microphones in my face. What are you going to do now? What are you going to do now? It's like, I don't know.
It just happened.
I was planning on working tonight, I don't know. I guess I'm not working tonight. So
we're going to figure something out.
And then all sorts of people everybody was stopped on the highway, and people that could get in. The police had kind of closed off the area, but a few people had gotten in, and they were at the box office, and as it went down, they opened everything back up, and all night long for the next few nights, people were just coming by, getting pictures, and kids were handing me coins.
Trying to help.
Yeah.
That's really cool.
It is cool. It is cool. But I was like, I don't know what we're doing.
Yeah, you're like, thanks for the change, but I don't know what's happening.
Right, I have no idea. So So while we did raise some money, and it was incredible outpouring,
Yeah.
it wasn't.
Did that kind of maybe like, were you in a sense like, do we rebuild it or do we
Totally.
not? And then that was maybe, did that kind of help push you over the edge and say, yeah, we do need to rebuild it?
More than the money that we raised, because we really didn't raise. And when I say this, it sounds like I'm not thankful.
But I mean, imagine what it costs to build.
Yeah, this was like $1.2 million to rebuild. So when we raised about $30,000, but really the sentiment is really
what kind of
carried it. And I had a great banker, I still do, he saw that the outpouring more than anything, and he actually is the one that approached me because I was like,
really?
Where do I go to borrow money to build a drive-in
right?
theater?
Who's going to give me that kind of money to build a big old steel structure?
Well, and the other side of that was I could have just thrown up a couple of screens. Like I could have smaller screens either here or on the opposite ends, and I could have done something way cheaper.
Yeah,
and probably got it done for $300,000 or $400,000, but I just didn't think that was going to be cool.
Yeah, I mean, if you're going to go for it.
Because part of what makes the Admiral cool, because I own another drive-in in Wichita, Kansas, and it's a good drive-in. It's a good performing drive-in. And it's very well known there, but it's not as well known as this drive-in.
Yeah.
And part of what makes this drive-in, I think, what it is, and maybe it just wouldn't have mattered, but it's the structure.
I think it matters. I'm right there with you. It does, but I think the way it looks, the way it looks, presents itself.
Because first off, nobody has back-to-back screens. I can't say that 100%, but of the drive-ins, I've never found one that has back-to-back screens.
They're either facing away from each other, or there's just
one projection booth.
Yeah.
Because I've got 2 projection booths, which is a pain.
Yeah.
I had 2 concession stands, which was a pain. And so when that happened, I was like, well, I think this would give us a chance to. Our bathrooms were like a war zone before. They were outside.
Long, yeah.
Oh man, it was terrible.
Yeah.
You could never keep them clean, because it was just out in the elements basically.
Yeah.
And I was hearing about that for a long time, and I understood. I was like, well, what am I going to do?
I mean, I can only do so much.
What am I going to do?
Yeah.
So this was a chance to build fresh, start, and do a concession stand and so anyway, my banker was the one that really approached me and said, well, what would it look like, if we
wanted to go?
Yeah, if you want to do this, we'll because we owned the land.
Yeah.
So
there was like, well, do you want to put something else there? Do you want to
do you want to sell it? Yeah.
Yeah.
What's your plan? And I was just like, I really just didn't have a plan.
Yeah.
I really didn't. And it took a long time for it to actually come together. It took probably about 6 months of just kind of going, I don't know. We did a few concerts out here, which we raised a little more money. And then like I said, I talked with him and so we, I had an architect that kind of came out of nowhere, who really kind of just did me a solid and said, look, I just want to do it because I want to be part of the project. I want it basically he wanted it in his portfolio.
Yeah, and you could say, hey, I helped build that.
That's right. Again. That's right. So he charged very little.
There you go.
I mean, like basically nothing.
Basically, in
the big scheme of things. And so I explained kind of what I wanted to do, and he's like, oh yeah, totally. I think that's what you should do.
Yeah.
I mean, I think that if you're going to build it back, I think that's what Tulsa probably would want you to do.
Yeah.
And Bell's hadn't been down that long at that point.
That's true.
Maybe they had. I kind of can't remember when they went down.
It was mid 2000s.
I thought so. I thought so.
In the scheme of things, on how long both of these were here.
Yeah.
It was. I mean, maybe 5-10 years in that. I mean, it's somewhere in that time frame that they had shut down. I feel like.
And really, almost immediately when Bell's went down, there was a sentiment of, why did we let that happen?
Yeah, really.
I feel like people that lived in Tulsa, and I'm not an amusement park guy. I mean, I don't go on. I take my family to Disney.
Yeah.
I stand there and I watch them do
You're
the rides.
One, yeah.
I hate rides.
I'll watch the stuff.
I hate rides.
Yeah.
But I hated that went away.
I mean,
as a Tulsan, and so I just didn't want that to happen here. And so that's kind of how it all came together.
Just like, all right, so
But we missed the 2011 movie season.
oh yeah,
We missed it, and then we came back.
Because how long did it take for them to build this back up?
Well,
I mean, once they started,
probably once we started, it was probably 6 or 8 months.
Yeah,
you know,
because you didn't go back wood again. You went with a steel structure,
just permitting and everything, and the city was great, you know, on permits and stuff. So, but they can only expedite things so much, and so, you know, probably it was 6 or 8 months of that, and then probably a good 4 to 6 months of planning. It probably shouldn't have been like that, but, you know, I was a little green on the whole thing as far as trying to kind of how we're going to kind of do it. And so,
for sure. Yeah. I mean, that's kind of like you said, it was your world changed overnight. It was literally boom, and you go, well, I've never had to deal with this before, so now I've got to figure out how to get this thing going back again, or if I want to do something
different. Well, then every
different.
penny I was making from my other businesses basically went into this. So I basically had no income for 2010, 11, 12, and maybe into 13. So, I mean, literally, basically, now I didn't have any kids at that point. So,
a little bit easier.
Yeah. So it was.
But I mean, still not easy.
Tight.
Yeah, it's kind of hard. So,
tight.
I mean, that's pretty cool. Like you dug into your own pockets and were like, hey, I'm going to make it happen regardless if it's going to be off of my back or not.
Whether it was a good idea to do it, I don't know. Hey, you know, I mean, in hindsight, but I'm glad we did it.
I'm glad you did it too. I think because I mean, it really is very sentimental. My kids, they love it here. I mean, and now not only do you guys are open during the season for the movies, but at Christmas time, you guys have, I mean, thousands of lights set up out here. Drive around, super cool. I mean, we've been out here. It's amazing.
Yeah, no.
So
that's kind of a partnership with another group, but they do an amazing job, and they care a lot. They really
make it.
You know, I mean, I've had people come at me to do other things over the years, and it's just never been quite the right fit. These guys that came at me were the right fit.
They do good work out here. It looks really cool.
And so that's been a good match for us, and it's bring a lot of people to us when we were usually closed.
Yeah, you get to have that little extra opening time. More people see it, things like that. And people may be coming out just to see the lights and then realize what it is.
Hey,
and then
I forgot.
Sometimes like, we need to come watch a movie here. We need to bring your kids are, 10 years old and you've never brought them to the Admiral Twin. You're like, shoot, we need to bring them over here.
Yeah,
so
that's right.
Kind of puts it in your brain again because, like I said, driven past this thousands and thousands of times.
Sure.
So sometimes you may slip your mind. Like, we could go to the drive-in.
Well, and that's always an issue anyway, every year that you open up, because before we started having the Christmas show, we would be open, from about March through Halloween generally. Mm-hmm. And so being closed 4 months out of the year, it hurts, because people sort of forget about you, or they drive by and it's always dark. They're like, oh, I didn't even know that it's opened. I still get that quite a bit. Really? I didn't even know it was still open.
Really?
Yeah, I still do. And I just think it's hard to get to people anymore. Even when in our heyday, you'd still hear it a little bit. The heyday being the 80s and 90s, but anymore, it's just so hard. Not everybody watches TV, and not everybody listens to radio, and not everybody reads the Tulsa World.
Yeah.
Well, in the 80s and the 90s, they did.
That's what it was.
I mean, so it was easy to get to people. You could be on KMOD and The Edge and a country station, and in the Tulsa World, and you've covered it. Everybody knew.
Yeah.
Now
you've got Facebook, TikTok, Instagram. I mean, so many different social medias. You've got.
And then there's the algorithms just trying to get to people.
They're just trying to mess you up.
It's easier. I don't think it's easier. I think it's harder.
Oh, the algorithms, you think you get it, and then it's like it pops on you and you go, I'm doing the same thing. What am I going to do? And you got to figure out how to change it again. It's like they do it on purpose. Yeah. So everything is, I get you. It's hard to get out there. One, it's so saturated with marketing because everybody's advertising, Facebook, this, that. So it's really
Tulsa,
hard.
Is not the Tulsa of 25 years ago. I mean, it is. We have so much to do in Tulsa now. There's so much for the entertainment dollar. There's a challenge with that. We get every concert.
I mean downtown 10 years, 15 years ago, was still pretty rough. Like there were still parts where you just didn't chill out, you didn't go like, and they were, you know, still trying to move some people out of there and get things moved around. So like I used to run the music venue. I used to run the Marquee downtown Claremore or downtown Tulsa.
Oh, okay.
And so I had the music venue down there, and that was in the 2000s. It was about the same time, burned down here, and it was totally different than what it was back then, what it is now.
I mean, it's just, you know, U2 starts their tour here. Fleetwood Mac starts their tour. I mean, it's the BOK, the Drillers. I mean, it's just, I don't know. There's just so much going on. I mean, I'm thankful of it on one side, but it does make it harder because I'm in competition with them to get, you know, do I want to go to the Drillers game or I want to go to the drive-in? And I have season tickets to the Drillers, and I love Mike Malega, and they're friends of mine, and so I'm a Drillers fan. But it is a little bit of a competition. He advertises here, and we advertise there, so we've got a good partnership.
Yeah.
But you know, I mean, that, and we've got just, I don't know. There's just so much opportunity for people to go spend money in so many places. The zoo, they do a good job. Everybody in Tulsa, I mean, I think that's one thing right now is almost everything that's going good is quality.
Yeah,
that we're at a point where we've sort of kind of reached a point where there's a high mark for entrepreneurs here and Tulsans, and I travel and I see other cities, and I go to another city quite a bit, and you know, Tulsa's just got a lot. It's not happening.
Yeah. It's growing. Yeah. It's funny that people still kind of get stuck in that sense. They think of Oklahoma when they come here. Everybody's going to be living in teepees and
but I think the perception of Tulsa's changed.
It is getting there because once I get, I tell people too, I'm like, you got to remember, there was oil here in Oklahoma. We had money. Downtown didn't just get built, 10 years ago. Yeah. It's been there for a long time, and it was very fancy.
Well,
very
the Gathering Place was a big mark for us nationally, and the tourism here has just really taken off, and the Outsider's House, and it has really gotten a lot of. I'm surprised in some ways. I'm happy because I know Danny.
Oh yeah,
and I'm happy about that, and of course our association with the Outsider. I mean, that's our claim to fame. I mean, every single day somebody will stop by and take pictures of this drive-in due to the Outsiders, because of the Outsiders.
I mean, not only was it the movie, but people started reading it as a book before. Yeah. I mean, it came out in the 60s, wasn't it? The book came out in the 60s, and then the movie came out in the 80s.
83.
83, yeah. So most people had already read the book, maybe in school, things like that, and then it gets into the movie came out. So it really has not just the movie but itself, but the whole thing from the 60s to now, of getting the Outsiders here. It's very, popular. It's really cool to see. I mean, how cool is that to be watching that, and then you see the Admiral Twin, right, they're walking around.
Well, May 29th and May 30th, we're going to be showing the Outsiders at the Admiral Twin Drive In.
At the Admiral Twin. That's pretty sweet. I mean, that's fun.
I watched a little bit of it the other night out here because we were just checking some film stuff and
making sure,
and I was, it's interesting. You're watching that's on the screen, and I'm over there, so it does. I mean, there's something that's neat about that.
That's really cool. I mean, I feel a lot of pride in myself. Like if it was my place and you're like, that's my place. That's really cool. Like it really is. That's
right.
I mean, I don't know. When I reached out to you to talk to you, and you're like, yeah, let's do it. I was stoked because it really is cool, And some people may be like, oh yeah. I'm like, but it's really the historical part of this is just an amazing place. The love, the joy, everything that's been built here. Kids growing up. I mean, you've seen technology change. You've seen how they're projected, how the sound's coming into the vehicles, all that, and you've had to adjust and change and go with that with the times, and it's still here.
Yeah. Now, I mean, to be fair, there hadn't been a ton of changes for drive-ins.
Well, I mean, you still drive in, watch a movie, but we don't have speakers hanging on our windows anymore.
Don't have speakers. Everything's digital now. Yeah. Then when we put in the digital projectors, those weren't cheap. I mean,
because you got to think about it's not just a projector you have in your house. Or at a movie, or even just
they're quite expensive.
It's a pretty good size one.
It's a monsterly big computer. It's the same thing that all the theaters are using.
That you in the movie theater, but you got to have it go pointed. I mean, there you go. At a movie theater, it's high quality stuff. You got to keep it going. It's got to run.
Sort of our challenge is the light pollution that has happened around us. the highway's not quite as bad as it was, but the glow from downtown and, you know, if the moon's bright that night, I mean, these are all variables that change the picture.
Yeah.
And, you know, on occasion I'll get somebody that'll complain and say, well, it's not as good as AMC. And I'm like,
you're outside.
Duh. I mean,
it's not, you're going for an experience.
You're inside and they can turn the lights out.
Exactly.
I can't turn the light out. No, that's totally what it is. I'm trying to make sure people do realize coming out here, or any drive-in, whether you want to go to another drive-in, I highly recommend it, because they are going to go away at some point. At some point. I don't know what that is. Maybe it's 20 years, maybe it's 50 years. At some point, the land is just worth too much.
Where you can't say,
I mean, and then most drive-ins have been run by families, so there's legacy family members that have been running it, and the more you water that down, the more you get to a point where somebody's like, I don't want to run a drive-in.
I don't want to do this.
Yeah, I don't want to do that.
It's not worth my time.
Yeah, that's
not worth all this.
I mean, I've got an 8 and a 10-year-old. You know, in 15 years, are they going to want to do this? I don't know.
I don't know. I hope they may, but who knows?
I don't know.
But you don't want to push that on them and say, you have to do this.
You don't have, that's right. That's right. So,
I get that.
You know, I mean, so who do I hand the baton off to?
What will they do with it afterwards?
At some point. And, you know, or does somebody just come in and offer you so much money for the land? You go, well, I got to take care of my family. And
there's absolutely, I mean, you can't say you're being.
I mean, everything's for sale. You know, I'm not actively trying to sell it, but I mean, I've got other businesses. If somebody really wants it, but you know, you never know.
Yeah.
But right now, I have no plans for any of that.
You're
just so you know.
Yeah. Don't get any ideas unless you're really coming out.
I mean, if George Kaiser needs my number, I mean, you know, I'll always answer for him. But
I totally get what you're saying. Like, they are disappearing.
They're going to disappear. And the thing is that it's more of a social event, honestly. I mean, like, if you're really trying to go watch a movie and you're like, you've got to be like really, you know, I get it. You need to go to an indoor, but if you want to be with your family and watch a little bit of a movie and be out, you know, it's a little bit like going to a ball game. You don't necessarily always hang on every pitch, or, you know, when baseball, you know.
Kids are running around.
I'm putting mustard on my eye. Oh, there was a base hit, you know. I mean, it's a little bit more like that. And I think people are starting to sort of, for a while when the technology really boomed in the theater industry, the indoor theaters and the stadium seating in the late 90s and early 2000s, I mean, there was times when the indoor thing was so overpowering that we got lost a little bit. But it's kind of come back around now, because now
the nostalgia kind of thing is starting to come back.
The nostalgia, the Tulsa getting older, Route 66, all this stuff is kind of playing into our
being here for 75 years.
And so I don't know. I mean, it's still fun. I still sell tickets generally on Fridays and Saturdays out here for a little while, and people seem to be happy to come out. I mean, very rarely do I have anybody that is complainers, you know. I mean, on occasion, somebody, you know, a dad may be out that the mom wanted to come out and he didn't want to come out.
He's like, for sure.
But for the most part, you know,
it's still fun.
So it's still fun.
I
still enjoy it.
I mean, like, I don't know. On top of the extra, you know, being outside and doing this, the kids get to stay up later, and they get to, so they get that kind of like, oh, I get to stay up late and I get to go to a movie outside at night. Like, it's a big deal. It's really cool. It's
run around,
fun, different. Because, you know, my kids, they don't, you're good. They don't want to be quiet in a movie. Like, they can talk to you, they can ask you questions and have fun with the movie while it's going on, and you don't have to worry about them. I mean, for a certain point, you don't want them yelling and being crazy, disrupting everybody. But if they ask you a question,
it gets
or something
loud
like that,
there. It does get a little bit loud.
But you've got your sound right there next to you, so it's not like you're going.
You can close yourself in the car if you want, or whatever you want to do.
Sit in the back of the truck if you want to. Bring us some lawn chairs. Sit up in the front.
People put beds in the back of their truck and they back in.
There you go. That's the way to do it.
What people are doing in their cars, we stay away.
You're like, that's not. We don't go looking around.
No, I do not go looking. I've seen some things over the years.
I bet. I mean, drive-ins are notorious for that. So we all knew that growing up.
I went to a Drillers game one time, and the usher, you know, was an older man, and he goes, my daughter was conceived at your drive-in. That is so funny.
Sure.
I mean, just as people are walking in, and I'm wearing an Admiral shirt, and he goes, you know, it didn't say my drive-in, but at that drive-in. Yeah.
That's funny. And Dad's always sometimes if it's kind of a weird spot, they like kind of take a almost a badge of glory. I'm like, that's where you were conceived.
Yeah.
And they tell you every single time you drive past it too. And they're like, yep, you see, like my dad, there's a back road out in Chelsea, Oklahoma. Every time we drove past, he's like, that's where you were made at.
Wow, that's
and I'm
funny.
like, Dad, I don't need to know that. You know,
honestly, I didn't need to know that, Dad. Thanks.
But, so yeah, but that's funny. That's such
I do
a
know
dad
how it
thing.
works, Dad, but
yeah,
I don't
know how it
know.
works, but yeah, I don't need to know it. Yeah, for sure. But that's funny. I mean, that's what you're not. You go to the movies. You're in your car. You're alone. You get to do. You know, hey,
Yeah.
have some fun.
That's right.
That's funny. I mean, think about that. How many kids were probably conceived here at the Admiral Twin, and they had no idea. There may be some Admiral Twin babies out there.
There could
a lot.
be.
I mean, I bet you there's quite a few of them. That's pretty funny. That's cool. Well, you know, kind of, we got to know you a little bit. Talk about this a little bit, but let's get to know you a bit. But are you a full-blown Okie? Are you transplanted? Did your family move here? Did you guys grow up
So
here?
I am from Tulsa. I was born here, but I didn't grow up here. My dad was in the movie theater business. So you know, he worked for AMC and General Cinema and Cobb Theaters. These are all either national or regional theater circuits. And so back then, you know, I'm old. I'll be 60 this year. But back in the 60s and in the 70s, you know, you'd move for $25 a week. You know, you'd move your family from Kansas City to St. Louis, and St. Louis to Chicago.
A lot of money back then.
So he would, as he climbed the ranks and he got better movie theaters, and then he became a regional person and a district person and whatnot. You know, we moved.
You got to hop around.
So I was born here, and then we moved away pretty much. I don't know if it was immediately, but somewhere within the first year of my life. And then we just moved around. And so I spent most of my childhood growing up early childhood in St. Louis, mid in Chicago, and then through my later teen years, and I graduated high school in Birmingham, Alabama.
Really? So yeah, you did just hop around, huh?
Yep. And then when I graduated high school, we moved back here. And we were here for a year and a half, 2 years, something like that. And then General Cinema owned this. They were the dominant player in the 70s and 80s in Tulsa. They owned a bunch of movie theaters, Woodland Hills and South Roads Twin and stuff like that, and the Admiral Twin Drive In. So they decided at one point that they were getting rid of all their drive-ins that they ran.
Was kind of going away.
Yeah, they were too big. They really didn't need to fool them. Yeah. And so my dad, knowing them and whatnot, he bought the drive-in from them. And so that's how we ended up here.
Coming in there. So, like, growing up, did you think, I mean, your dad was in the movie theater business. Did you ever go like, that's what I'm going to do when I grow up? Or were you like, I'm good, I'm not doing this. I'm going to do something else. I'm going to think about.
I don't know. I grew up in movie theaters. So, like, I'm very at home just in any kind of movie theater. Yeah. Popcorn smells.
The smell,
yeah. Yeah, there's just, you know, so. I don't know. I didn't necessarily say I wasn't going to be in the movie theater business growing up. I mean, I was probably like any other kid. I wanted to be the shortstop for the St. Louis Cardinals, or I wanted to be be the fifth Beatle. You know, I mean,
you had an idea of a dream.
I had my own. I kind of had my own things, you know. And can I stop for 1 second?
100%.
Let me tell him something real quick.
Yeah. All right, we're back.
Yeah.
That's business owner life. That's part of that. Sometimes you got to stop and do what you got to take care of business, right?
Yeah.
So jump right back into it. But we were talking about how you kind of got into the, staying, deciding what you were going to do and growing up. And you were saying, I kind of maybe wanted to be something when I was growing up, but you were just, this was your comfort zone. This is what you knew.
Yeah. I don't know. My mom always, my dad had it kind of good in a way. My mom always had a pretty good job, and my dad had good jobs too. Don't get me wrong; he had good jobs. But once he decided, even growing up, when he was, like the regional person for General Cinema out of Chicago. I mean, he had 50 theaters he was over. He still had other things he did on the side.
That he was still going.
Yeah, so he was still an entrepreneur, even though he had 2 kids to raise and And so, there had to be some stability. And he always had good side hustle things.
Yeah, he's figuring
But my mom always had like solid jobs. And so she kind of, in some ways, gave us the stability in some ways.
And let Dad kind of do this.
Kinda.
Dream work.
Yeah, kinda. And so I kind of saw both sides of that a little bit. So I'm kind of in the middle on that stuff. And it probably taught me to just kind of follow my gut instincts and what I wanted to do. They were always very supportive in whatever I wanted to do.
It was, yeah.
If I played in a band or anything like that, whatever, that type stuff, or if I was, playing sports, whatever. And so growing up around all of that, I don't know. I think in some ways I always knew that I could run a movie theater.
Yeah.
Like that was kind of my fallback thing. Even though I've been doing this for a long time, at the drive-in, I always thought, even to this day, if this all goes to crap,
it just goes.
I can go run the AMC.
Yeah,
I can go do a job because I'm very at home at movie theaters, and I know that I could just walk in and run it, or be some sort of district manager or something. Yeah. Even though I've just never been much of a corporate guy, that's the one thing that I'm not. I kind of just. I think that's kind of entrepreneurs. They're not really corporate. They try to be. A lot of them try to be. They'll go into it and they're like, I can't do this. Well, I tried for a little bit. I did work for a chain for a little bit, even though I had this on the side, sort of like my dad was doing.
Yeah.
And that was in the late '90s and early 2000s. But I don't know. I don't know.
So like when your dad bought this place, were you like, yeah, I have a job now. This is where I'm working. Did you come working straight here, or did you do something else outside that, or were you kind of just doing both?
So when we moved back to Tulsa, so it was 85. It doesn't sound that long ago to me, but I know people are like, 85, oh my God. Yeah, I get it. I was
born just a couple years after that, so it's not that far in my mind either.
Well, but I refer back to like the year 2000. I think it wasn't that long ago, and somebody said, dude, that was 26 years ago. I was like, holy moly.
That's not right.
It's true. Yeah, I know.
That's not right.
When we moved back, I worked for Sound Warehouse, which was a record store at 15th and Peoria. And so I worked there for about 3 years. And he bought this, I think, at the end of 87. So our first year was 88. So I was still doing that and doing this.
Doing this kind of thing.
So, I mean, I've just kind of always done things that I like to do.
Yeah,
I mean,
I've done with that, yeah.
And I've never really worried that much about the money aspect of it. If it's something, I feel like I'm from that generation of, like, it was always more, did you like what you do? Is it a cool job?
Yeah, right?
Do you dig what you do? And I always did. And so, knock on wood, luckily things sort of kind of worked out financially in some ways. But, like I say, I had those bad years too when the place burned down.
I say, 1.2, you said that's not a little chunk of change. That's a lot of money.
That's true, yeah.
I mean, that is like I said, trying to just do what you do and trying to follow your gut. And that was kind of, it took you a minute to kind of figure out what you want to do with following gut. But like I said, it kind of got you here and where you're at, that's really cool. Because, I mean, a lot of people, we forget about that idea of, we always get stuck in the mindset of, we got to make money. Soon, we got to go to school. We got to do this. We got to, there's all kinds of things you got to do because you got to make money. And as I've gotten older, I mean, I was one of those, I've chased the dollar. I got to make as much money as I can get. And as I've gotten older, had kids and things like that, now I'm kind of like, if I really don't like it, it doesn't matter how much money I'm making, it's not worth it, or if taking time away from the family, things like that. And I know we got to have money.
Yeah.
We got to have it.
But
money. At the same time, like, I don't want it to be that's all I focus on. That's all I'm going for.
I don't really focus on it that much. I mean, like right now, I mean, I'm refreshing the concession stand. We've changed things up here a little bit. I don't know if I'd say it was a complete remodel because it's not, but we refreshed it and we're doing things a little bit differently. And it's mostly things that I want to do.
Hey, there you go.
I just wanted to do them. And I hope that the public likes what we're doing. You always kind of do that. But like I've spent more money this off season on this place than I have in a long time.
Really?
Just trying to, I don't know. I mean, I don't know.
75th year. It's the anniversary for Route 66. I mean, you guys are going to have a little bit of the cars are going to be kind of here.
Well,
right?
maybe, yeah.
Maybe
We're going to have what we're calling Cars and Movie on May 30th. I don't want to call it a car show because we don't have no trophies and we don't have any gift cards or anything like that. It's really a social event for people that are coming into town.
Just drive up, bring your fancy car,
you want to come out
things
and
like that.
hang around and watch the outsiders and show your car.
Yeah.
You know, because, they're going to have like 4,000 cars. So there's all the hotels are booked. So, we're just trying to supply a place for people to come and hang out.
Yeah, give them a spot to chill, get out of their cars, get a good drive in. And
it's going to be late. The Capitol Cruise will be early.
Yeah.
And so you can go back, and then, so then around 5 o'clock we'll open up the gates. You do have to buy a ticket to get in because that's what I do. It's movies. And so we haven't overly promoted it yet. We're kind of getting to the point where we're starting to promote it. We've got a booth at the expo for the Route 66 thing on Thursday and Friday next. Well, not this coming week, but the next.
Next week, yeah.
Yeah, and so we're sort of trying to do that. I'm kind of tiptoeing the line because a car enthusiast, I don't want them to think that this is a major car show.
Yeah,
This is just
bring your car, show it off.
Yeah, show it. Talk,
a lot
of
people
about your cool Mustang.
They like to get together in parking lots and things like that, and they literally just park next to each other. They walk around, look, talk about it because that's what they do.
Yeah.
So come out here.
It's funny. It doesn't interest me. Like I drive a Honda van.
I mean, you saw what I drive. I drive a little Sonic, a little Chevy Sonic.
Well, what year is that thing?
Oh gosh,
it's not old enough, is it?
I think it's a 14.
Oh, okay.
So it's a little bit older. It's not crazy old, but it's that thing. It gets great gas mileage.
There you go.
I mean,
right now,
I am 100% okay with it. Everybody's like, yep. And I get out of it, and I stand like 2 feet above it, I'm 6'5", so I get out and I'm like a giant getting out of a clown car. But hey, it works. I'm not a car guy myself. I like to look at cars.
No, I do too.
Yeah,
I do too.
Oh, that's cool looking. But you start telling me what the motor is.
Yeah, no, this is.
I'm going.
Yeah, it's over my totally.
It looks cool. I'd like to drive it sometime, but that's about as far as I go.
That's me. Yeah.
And I'm not like. But I think I wouldn't spend that kind of money on one either. I
think about 40% of men like to go and look and talk at cars.
Exactly. Yeah.
Because I see people really love to know a lot about cars, and I'm like, I don't know.
Even sometimes, even if they don't know a lot, they know a little bit where they still can go around and talk.
Yeah.
I'm not. I'm like, hey, that's a pretty color.
Yeah.
Those are pretty wheels, or whatever. And they're like, whatever. But that's how I'm looking in the interior. I'm like, ooh, that looks soft.
Right.
I'm thinking other things. So, of course, but you guys are gonna have a lot of stuff going on, and then we've got some awesome movies that are coming out this summer and things like that. So I mean, the season, you got some cool stuff coming up.
Yeah, no, I think it could be a good year.
Yeah.
I mean, the May 29th and May 30th, we'll do on the 29th. We're doing our anniversary. The mayor's going to be out here. Some Tulsa Visit Tulsa people will be out here, tourism people. Cool. We're going to cut the ribbon, and then we're going to show the outsiders and show Cool Hand Luke. That's on the 29th and the 30th. I don't know when you're airing this, but and then later in the year we've got a new. It's all sequels. I mean, we don't have to talk about that, but Toy Story 5. But that's multi-generational.
Exactly. I watched Toy Story as a kid, as a little kid, and now my kid. I'm
How
an
old
adult,
are you?
and I'm 38. So
you're 38. So
I was pretty. I was a little young. I wasn't young when it first came out. What was it
95? I think was the first.
So I wasn't.
What year were you born?
88. So I was
88. Okay.
Yeah,
you would have been perfect.
I was a kid. I was a little kid. Perfect age for that when Toy Story came out.
6 or 7. Yeah.
And we've watched them and I still want to watch them because it's something we watch.
I do too, and I'm 60. So I mean, I would have been. I mean, they're just really well made and fun. And so we've got that, and then we've got a new Minions, and then there's a new Spider-Man.
The kids always love Minions.
Yeah,
like
they're
funny.
They're well made too.
Yeah, and then Spider-Man, of course. Which I mean,
it's going to be
the preview alone already has beat records.
It's
the trailer
probably
alone
the big movie of the summer.
Yeah, and it looks really good. I think it'll be.
It's
really
late
fun.
in the summer though, as far as because it's almost August before it comes out.
Time.
Yeah. But that's okay. We need movies then too.
Yeah.
So I think this year is going to turn out to be good. So far, we've had too much rain, but and all last year was just a forgotten year because there was no movies and all rain.
It was it was a mud pit last year.
It was just terrible, and so I couldn't have been happier to get rid of 2025.
You were like, "Let's go, 26."
Yeah, let's go, baby. And so anyway, so we're looking forward to those movies.
Right on. So, we talk about we talk about the people coming around and stuff like that, you know, how important to community, how important is community to you? You know, we talked about, you know, the importance of people coming around and stuff like that. You've been here for quite a while. So, I mean, what's the importance of the community? How do you think community is important to people and business owners and things like this?
Well, I mean, I think Tulsans, particularly Tulsans, again, I travel quite a bit, and I think people are very into what's happening in Tulsa right now. I think that I think there's a very proud community of how Tulsa's grown. I think, though we may have too much government, but I think the city planners have done a great job with, you know, identifying, you know, I mean, we're going to have an IKEA.
Yeah, I know.
I mean,
an IKEA.
I mean, I would have never thought. I mean, I used to have to go to Chicago to go to IKEA, and then they got one in Dallas, and you know, and now they're going into smaller areas. But I mean, I would have never thought we would get IKEA.
Hey, I'm down if I can get meatballs there. I don't care how big it is.
Yeah, you like to eat there?
Oh,
huh?
I do. That's what I told my son. He was like, "Oh, I can't wait for IKEA."
Yeah.
He's 11, you know, and you see it on TV, and you know, whatever it is. And I'm like, it's cool, you know, like walking around, but it's gonna be a smaller one. I said,
it's gonna be small.
But the food. I was like, meatballs.
Are they doing food?
I don't know. So that's kind of, I'm hoping.
I wonder if
that's
what they're cutting.
Oh man, I'll be so mad if I still have to go down to Austin, Dallas to get meatballs. I'm not going to be happy.
You're going
to
do it. You're not going to be happy. Gotcha.
Not happy. I mean, I'll still go there and buy stuff because they have cool stuff. But and it's fairly easy to put together. Yeah. But you know, it's there. Like I said, there's things that are growing here that's really cool that are happening. So community, but none of that stuff would happen without the community involvement and being there. I mean, showing up. And you said, running for office and then going into government and being, you know, like I said, identifying those needs that they were seeing, and they were like, "Hey, let's do this here." I think
we've been very lucky with our local. You know, I don't necessarily know statewide. But not making this political. But and I'm not overly political. You know, but I don't know. I just think people like to shop local and. I don't know.
And like I said, right now, I think people are just very proud to be from Oklahoma. I mean, growing up as a kid, we always thought, we got to get out of here. You know what I mean? Like, we got to get out of Oklahoma. When I grow up, I'm getting out of the state. I'm getting out of this town, this city. It's, you know, hold me back. But really, I mean, as I've gotten older, and then I was in the music industry, and I still tell people, we've got one of the best music scenes, some of the best musicians around. Like, I've been to Tennessee, you know, Nashville and Memphis, and they've got and they have a big scene for it. But here, it's something different. And we've got amazing places to play. We've got amazing musicians that are growing up and, you know, bringing this new sounds and things like that. I'm like, you don't get that everywhere else. You don't have that kind of play and stuff. It really is. I mean, like I said, they're taking that pride in what it is, and it's growing. And I mean, got the flag, you know, from a few years ago, they came up, you know, the Tulsa flag, which we didn't have, all that stuff. And it's literally plastered everywhere, everything. So it's really cool. And the history of Tulsa has starting to unfold. And there's things that I'm learning even now, you know, almost 40 about Tulsa that I had no idea. And, you know, they're bringing in Black Wall Street downtown. They're growing that back and bringing it out and stuff like that.
I didn't know a whole lot about that.
I had no idea. I never heard a single thing about it until
you did.
Until it did. Until a few years ago when it started popping up again.
It wasn't that long ago.
Yeah,
it really wasn't that. I mean, I know that was 100 years ago, but it wasn't that long ago that it started kind of getting
talked about again.
Yeah.
It was something. I mean, I took Oklahoma history.
Yeah.
And that was never in there.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And so those are things that are coming about and that we're learning about in the history of what this place was. It wasn't, like I said, people think teepees and we're horse and buggy, stuff like, they still somewhat have that idea. And it's hilarious to me when they come here and say that, but it's really not, it's so far above that. And I mean, I think we're up there to be a contender with some of those big cities and those big states that we have.
Well, I mean, you know, the Today Show came here, and they were actually really impressed.
Right? Yeah.
With, you know, I went to that thing. I got invited to go to that thing, and it was neat. I had to be out there at like 4 in the morning or 3 in the morning, but it was but it was cool.
Yeah.
That they
yeah.
were here. I mean, Al Roker was there. I mean,
Right.
it was right there. And
Somebody
so,
that we watched.
Yeah.
I mean, I've watched since I was a little kid on the news. Yeah.
turn on the Today Show every day.
Yeah.
Pretty much. That's what I do. To see what's going on in the world when I wake up. So, but I don't know. I mean, I think Tulsa's changed a lot. And I think it's all for the better. I mean, I do think it's all for the better.
Oh, yeah. Change is scary sometimes, and, we don't want to leave. But I think right now, like I said, with the growth, it is that good balance of keeping the history with it and growing everything and changing things. So we're not completely, because it can come where we just get rid of the history, tear it down, move on, let's build something new.
Well, for a while, that's when it started to kind of feel that way a little bit.
But they're kind of getting away from that now.
Yeah, I think so.
Somewhat. I mean, there's still things you can't do and fix and stuff like that.
I've tried to change the zoning on this here just in case, something came along, Walmart, the Amazon distribution center, somebody, it's not so much that I'm wanting to get rid of it because I'd really like it to stay here. But again, at times, at some point, something's going to change. The theater industry by itself has changed so much.
Oh, completely.
That, we can't control the product. If you get 2 or 3 dry years, well, I got people to feed. Yeah. Even though I don't leave my life about money, you're right. You still have to have it. You have to have it.
Yeah, that's
especially now when gas is $4.20 a gallon. But then when I've talked with the zoning commission, they want it to stay a drive-in. They're like, well, what are you going to do with it? Well, I don't know. I just want to be able to have the opportunity in case or if an opportunity comes along.
Yeah.
And like, well, I think the city planners, if you talk to them about the future of Tulsa, they've got it still drawn in. The Admiral Twin Drive In is going to be here. It's very weird.
Yeah,
it's very weird. Because
that's still kind of cool. Though.
Little old us. Who are we? And so I think people think we're just going to keep going, and the people that know that we're still here.
It's kind of what it is I want to have on too, is to remind people like this is. Especially this year with Route 66 and everything. Let's go back to the old time nostalgia. Let's do this because there's things that I really wish that I could go back and do with my kids. Like just even going to the video store to rent a movie on a Friday night to go home and watch it. Walking into a Blockbuster and renting a movie, getting candy as your, all that. You don't have that anymore. All you do is you sit down, you're flipping through. Which one should we watch?
Right. And you spend a ton of time doing that because you don't know what any of them are.
And you can't all connect. Yeah,
well,
exactly.
And, so that's an interesting point because the film companies for a while, we used to kind of have an association with the film companies. Yeah. We as the theater industry.
Movie,
not me personally, but and as people have retired or whatever, and younger people have come along, they don't have that association with movie theaters. So really, in the late teens and early 2020s, they were trying to send everything streaming. They, especially when COVID hit.
When COVID hit.
Yeah. And I think the film companies, if they could beam it into your head and just charge you, everybody a quarter, they would do it. And so they tried doing that, but really, what we found now, or what they've found in the theater industry, we all knew it. But if you don't play first run, people don't know what the movie is.
Yeah.
You can sit. I've sat and on a streamer, pick whatever streamer you want. Doesn't matter. I'm not picking on the streamers.
But
But they've got all this content, and I don't know anything about anything. I've spent longer trying to find the movie than the movie is.
Exactly.
And so the film companies now have kind of come back around to realizing that they need to probably have a window of theatrical exhibition.
Yeah.
And some of them are going back to 45 days. And that will help everything because
for sure.
What was great about the industry, and you said you were 80, you bought 87, 88?
Yeah.
So 98, you were 10. So you were 10, 12. So you might have been just a little bit young, but people who would have been a little bit older, around 2000 when Lord of the Rings comes out.
Oh, yeah.
We would have lines of people at midnight to see this movie.
No, I remember going to the movies.
The energy
things like that.
Yeah, it was fun.
Mm-hmm.
Well, we've ruined that. Now we've got recliners. You can buy your seat online. There's no rush to go do anything. You could watch a movie on your phone. So just pop culture in general and where it's kind of went. In my
Instant
opinion, it's not
gratification.
better.
Yeah.
It's not better.
Exactly, yeah.
No,
I
it's like you're
100%
saying,
agree.
going to the Blockbuster or whatever video store, you know,
Yeah,
and
whatever it
looking
is.
through them. There was a whole thing to that.
Yeah.
You know, dating and going and doing that stuff. It's just, what do people do on dates?
Exactly.
I don't
Like,
know.
You would
know?
walk in there talking like, oh, I like this movie. You start to, like you said, you're on a date.
Yeah.
You get to feel like what they like.
Well,
and
then you ask or a record store. You go to a record
Yes.
store and people, you know, they ask the clerk, you know, I mean, it was like you had to know all these things because
Yeah.
people come in and go, what album's that on? Or who is this? There was nothing to
Somebody
tell you
that
who it
sings
is.
this song,
Yeah.
yeah,
And
and
there
you're
was
like, oh,
nothing
yeah.
to play it, you know, you
Yeah.
sort of had to know. So
There's no Google just to pull up your phone
yeah.
Yeah.
So, I mean, I know there's a lot of things that are better, but not all that stuff is better, in my opinion.
I 100% agree.
Or you go to the record store because there's a new record coming out and it comes out tomorrow and you could be there at midnight. See, that's probably stuff you missed.
No, I remember going and standing in line waiting for records to come out.
Okay.
And video games and
Yeah,
things like
and video-
that.
so video games, I'm not a video
movies
game guy,
I'm
but-
not either, but like my friends were.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But at least there's that, and it just, I don't know. It was so much fun when you had lines of people and they're all dressed up in Star Wars stuff, you know, when those
Yeah.
last three Star Wars, or well, not last three now, they've made too many
I know,
now,
they've
but
popped them in there.
I don't
But
know.
back in the 2000s when they were when they came out, yeah, for
Yeah.
sure. It was different. We missed that. And I think that people are starting to, like, especially that 35 to 50 range, they're starting to miss that nostalgic stuff that they grew up with. Their grandkids don't get to have that. Their kids, you know, grew up with it a little bit, and so they're missing those things that they got to do, even with their kids. So they can't take their grandkid to the movie.
Yeah.
They're in a movie and do things like that. Like the movie, like, so we grew up in Little Chelsea, Oklahoma. That's where my grandma lived there, and we had the grocery store there, Parks, and they had their little corner movie
for
store.
videos?
Yeah,
Yeah.
videos and
Yeah.
stuff. We would go to the store. That was what we would do. We'd go pick out a VHS
Yeah.
movie, and that we'd go back and watch it and
Right.
get snacks, and that was what we did.
Right.
And I loved it.
Yeah.
I miss that. And so, and I don't get to do that with my kids.
Yeah.
It's a different, I've told my wife, I say, I really think we should just open a video store just so that we can have, I mean, make it smell like popcorn, have
Yeah.
all the candy, like full on movie,
Yeah.
bright. Like when you're driving down the road, like you remember Blockbuster, you drove down the road at nighttime,
Yeah.
it glowed.
Yeah.
It was bright, it was
Yeah.
shiny, like caught your attention. I'm like, it'd be so cool. I said, I think, now I don't know how long that would last because, you know, again, streaming, everything.
It would be fun.
It would just be one of those maybe a pop-up nostalgic thing
Yeah.
that you get, but I like it would be fun to have
Yeah.
that experience for the kids and things like that. My buddy, one of my best friends growing up, his parents owned a video store, so
Oh, okay.
we hung out there all the time. Like
Yeah.
literally, he'd be working and I'd just be sitting there hanging out, talking. And
Yeah.
that was what we did. So
Yeah.
you don't get those things anymore. And like I said, it's not necessarily better. Maybe it makes some things a little bit easier.
Yeah.
But it's not better.
Yeah.
In a sense, like we're too far into the technology and things
Yeah.
and that stuff, and we get.
We're not putting the genie back in the bottle, so it is what it is.
It's not going back
Yeah.
in. We may have some, like places like this that
but-
still exist that we can still get those things.
You
and
can still get it a little bit.
A little
coming
bit. You
here.
still
A little
feel
bit.
a little bit.
A little bit.
You know, I mean, even me just being out here walking around before you got here and just looking at it, you get that nostalgic feel. It feels good. Yeah, it's not 1951.
I mean, I'm a
but
little too
it's
close to it
still-
because I come in here on pretty much every day. But
Yeah.
and so and I will say there probably several years it kind of got past me a little bit. I mean I've sort of
anything in
recharged a little bit
Yeah.
on the 75th and just how long we've been here and just kind of how I own 2 drive-in theaters. I'll see people post like on LinkedIn, and they'll post a drive-in theater and they'll go, anybody ever been to one of these? And I'm like, well, I own 2 of those.
I own 2 of those. Yeah, I've been there for a while.
Yeah. So people
Yeah.
still come,
Yeah.
but a lot of towns don't have drive-ins, or they're rural. They're way out.
They're way out, and
They're
somebody
way
threw it
out.
up together.
To be in sort of 4 miles from downtown, and my drive-in in Wichita is in the city. I mean, those are interesting properties that were
because
that were
we've
still
built
here.
everything's been built up around it. You don't have that open area because you do
Yeah.
need space. Like you said, 20. What'd you say? 27
We
acres.
got 26 acres.
26 acres.
Yeah.
That's a big little chunk. You got to
It's
have
big.
plenty of room for cars to drive. You got to have the room for the projector. There's a lot you got to think about. So
Yeah.
putting it, like you said, in this kind of area, it is different because the ones that I've seen, like even in other states, like in Idaho, things like that, they had some. They're like you said, it's out in the middle of nowhere.
They're cool too.
Oh, those are fun. But they're
all, I would
but
say,
like you mentioned, it's one screen or there's two
most
screens
of them
far
are
away.
singles.
Yeah.
But I would say the majority of drive-ins were single screen. And going back to the heyday in Tulsa, probably in the 40s, 50s, and 60s, there was probably 10 or 11 drive-ins in Tulsa.
Really?
Yeah.
Well, I mean, it was a popular thing, wasn't it?
It was, yeah. There was one over here, the airline. It was closer to the airport. There was one on 11th. There was one in Sand Springs. Riverside used to not go all the way past about 61st Street. It was weird, and then there was a drive-in out there, And so, I don't know. Those are cool. There was one in Broken Arrow.
But I mean, think about it. Like, this is still here, and they're not.
They're all gone.
They're all gone. So it's, I mean,
Yo.
that says something. It's still here. Hey, I would be cocky too. I mean, it's really.
I'm not cocky. Trust me. I'm not.
It's really cool that, being able to, like, I read your article in the Tulsa People, that they had posted with you, and talking about bringing your friends here as a kid, or it was when you were younger, and like, hey, I'm watching a movie.
Yeah,
I'm cool. Like,
well,
cool.
most of that was going to indoor movie theaters
because your dad was. So that's even better. But then you still.
So it was cool in the 70s,
but
80s.
Going through, I don't know, just the 2000. You said you bought from your dad in 2000.
Yeah.
So 26 years ago, and at it yourself, and it's. I mean, you've got to see a lot of differences in that 26 years just alone, and the people that, I mean, really do love it, and I'm sure that you get it all the time, like, oh man, I love that place. This was first time I ever saw this movie was there, and that's my favorite movie. Or I remember watching Jaws there, or different things that are big movies that were something that impacted their life, and they get to get here. So
and
I'm
they
sure
still remember it. Sure, they do.
That's
cool. I do hear that from people a lot. I saw Jaws out there. So,
like the cool movies that were. I mean, Jaws at the Admiral Twin when it first came out. That would be pretty.
Yeah, 75. That was the first summer blockbuster. That was when that term came around. Was was
cool.
Jaws? It was the first time that they started using summer blockbuster.
Really?
Yeah.
That's cool. That's my wife's favorite movie.
Oh,
Jaws.
No kidding.
She loves Jaws.
We played it out here last year because last year was the 40th anniversary.
Yeah. She grew up as, she was like, I was 3 or 4 years old watching Jaws with my dad. Probably shouldn't have been, but I fell in love with it. She loves horror movies, all those things. Yeah. But Jaws was that's her favorite movie, and so being able to say, hey, we watched that here, that's really cool kind of stuff. And I am a nostalgic person. I'm kind of a older soul in a sense. I grew up in the time frame where I hung out with my grandma. You know what I mean? Like, if mom and dad were at work, grandma was watching us, and we were hanging out, and I stayed the night there a lot. And so I got to have, she taught me about movies and music and other things that, sometimes people they don't get anymore, one.
Yeah.
And two, tells you the facts and the funny, the stuff about those movies when they came out and how it felt. And it's just, I absorbed that stuff, man. I love it because it's, those are big things that are, people that talk about seeing David Bowie or the Beatles back, in the 60s when they first came over.
I saw David Bowie.
Did you?
I didn't see the Beatles. I'm not that old, but I do love. That's my favorite group.
Beatles.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, right there. If you say you like music and you don't like the Beatles, or you don't even respect the Beatles, you don't like music. It's just where I go. But and that's where music was. That's where music turned the point where it got good, I think. But it's those people that get to say like, oh, I saw them. I saw the Beatles when they came over here.
Yeah.
In the 60s and all that stuff. That would be really cool. Like if I could time travel, that's the only reason I time travel is to go back to see those type of things and be able to experience those because, I wasn't even thought of for another 20 something, 20 years at that point. And so it was, I still feel like I should have been there. You know what I mean? Like I should have been there. I wish I would have been like 30 years old in like 1966. Yeah. And then go on from there. I think it would be
That's
fun.
The year I was born, was 66.
Was it? Yeah.
But I agree that there was so much happening in the mid to late 60s and maybe into the early 70s so that would be my parents.
Yeah.
My parents would have been that.
They would have been like
generation.
teenagers. And then younger 20s, stuff like that.
Yeah. And we sort of grew up listening to almost the same music in a way. Like I listened to, I've always had, well, of course, everybody thinks they have good music taste. Nobody thinks I got bad music
Oh,
taste.
yeah, I got good-
but you know, I pretty much grew up listening to what they did. You know, and I mean, I remember my mom. I mean, when I was pretty young, you know, something came. I think it was like "Silly Love Songs" or it was a Paul McCartney song. "Let 'Em In" might have been "Let 'Em In." And I remember my mom looking back at me, going, "That's Paul McCartney. He was a Beatle." You know, and I was like, "What's a Beatle?" You know, and you know,
That's the Wings.
Yeah,
That's the Beatles.
Yeah. So
he's a Beatle.
You know, so it was.
We do that to our kids too, because my daughter's name is Prudence after Dear Prudence.
Hey, my kids are Jude for Hey Jude, and Maxwell for Maxwell Silver Hammer.
Yeah, love it. Yes. So I want my son, my oldest, his name's Emerson, but I wanted to name him Jude so bad, but his mom was
great
like,
name,
not
by the
having it,
way.
not
Yeah.
having it. But
She didn't like it, huh?
She didn't want to, like, I don't know.
Two Beatles.
But I've always, like, ever since I was a little kid, I was like, I'm going to name my son Jude. Because I just thought, and I was like, I'm going to be able to sing Hey Jude with them and blah, blah, blah. But he still goes, he said, he will still say, that's our song. So he knows and he gets it, but we'll say, Hey Jude.
Oh, man.
And get it going. But no, Beatles. So I've got an Emerson, which is named after Emerson Guitar and Ralph Waldo Emerson. And then we've got Prudence Tubbs, and we've got Bowie Tubbs after David Bowie.
Oh, look at you!
And then we've got Halen after Van Halen.
Oh, wow!
So we're music
you
nuts.
are music. Okay.
We love music. And like I said, I think I got pretty good taste, but I've got a weird eclectic taste. You could go from here to here, and it's different.
I think your generation of people, I think does have a wide variety of musical taste. So what's weird about that to me is that when I was growing up, again, I'll be 60 this year. So when I was growing up, if you didn't know somebody and you saw somebody wearing, just say, a David Bowie shirt, and you didn't know him, and you were a Bowie fan, you felt like there was a thing.
Yeah, like just like we did with the Beatles.
Yes,
like that. Yeah.
And now people are, and it's. I always think it's a little bit weird. I hear people listening to hip hop, and then they know all the country stuff, and they don't hardly know maybe rock. You know, like my kid plays travel baseball on a pretty good baseball team, and you know, they're doing these walk-up songs and stuff, which I hate the walk-up songs for little kids, by the way. But my kids, you know, have been either a U2 song or he's Lenny Kravitz, or now he's going to do Tom Petty, Running Down a Dream. And then a bunch of them are doing rap, you know, and it's all these white kids that are, you know, pretty well-to-do.
We grew up
well-to-do kids, you know, that plan to travel.
Rap. Yeah. It's like, this is my lifestyle, not even close. I don't even know what it's like.
I'm like, you have no idea what you're talking about.
Yeah, we don't know.
I mean, were you inner city in Chicago? I just, you know, so I find the association funny. And I love all the people on this team. I mean, the families are great, but I just find it funny.
No, that's funny.
I just find it funny. And, but anybody that's like, you're into music, so it's easy for you to probably talk about it, but people that are not way into music, I think when I bring that up, they're a little bit like, what do you mean? Isn't it better to like a lot of different genres of music? Well, in my world, no, it's not. It means it means that you don't understand music. Is what it means.
And I tell people, I'm like, I can listen to a song by an artist and go, man, I love that song, but I don't like the other stuff sucks. Like, I'm like, you can feel that there's no feeling in the music. And I tell people, I said, it's almost like you can, if you pay attention, you listen to it, you feel it, you can feel what they felt when they wrote that song, what they were feeling, or whoever wrote that song felt. Because, you know, some of those bands they didn't write all those songs. They had writers and friends and groups of people that would just get together in a studio and just start jamming and writing. And that's what they did. And so, like, you can feel that energy from it. And then some of the songs you listen to, and you're like, you can tell that was just a generic written song that the artist came in and didn't really have that connection with it. But that's why I think I like the 60s, the 70s so much with the music-wise, because they actually connected to their music. And it was a time where it switched, you know, where you didn't have to be dad. I'm not going to college. I'm not doing, you know, you were your own person.
Well, part of it was the 50s were so... you know, white bread. America had really gotten very.
I know. Yeah, that's what you're saying. Yeah.
And the change. That's the reason why the long hair came in, because now all of a sudden you're like, well, I'm not going to be like, you guys are squares.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Now, you know, it's just, you know, so you know, we're letting our hair grow out. We're going to be our own generation.
We're going to do our thing. We're going to believe what we believe.
Yeah. So it was two pretty solid generations of people. My grandparents,
Yeah.
And then my parents. I mean, both vastly different, but also very solid people.
Yeah.
So the greatest generation, being my grandparents would have been of that.
Yeah.
The boom of America, and then the sort of the headiness of the 60s, of we're going to do things our way.
We're gonna do our way. And then
Yeah.
the songs, it was more so like, it wasn't just lovey-dovey. It was more about speaking your minds, feeling what you feel.
Yeah,
The war, all the stuff that was going on.
Yeah, lyrically, and then of course, I mean, the Beatles musically. I mean, they changed everything. It's just not 3-chord rock and roll.
Exactly. I tell people, and that's what people don't get the extent. This when I tell people, you can go back and listen to remastered Beatles albums, and it feels so much more thicker, so much more full compared to what it was back then. They were on they were coming up with new techniques and recording and double tracking, and they were one of the first bands to really do these things that come out there.
Once it became a studio band.
Yeah, once it became a studio, because
Yep.
they got in there and they really just fooled around and they came up with these ideas that. Still some people do those. They set their microphone up in that area, in that spot, just because those sounds come from there, and that's how it's worked, and it's gone. And that's I've literally stopped, picked up a girl. We were listening to the Beatles in the car for a date, and she said, "I don't like the Beatles." And I said, "You don't like the Beatles?" I turned around, took her home. I was like, "No way! There's no way." I said, "I can't do that."
Yeah. I would have a hard time.
And she's like, "I love music, but the Beatles, they're just not." I'm like, "Yeah, this isn't going to work."
Yeah.
Yeah, all right. She said,
Well, good for you.
"No." She goes, "Aerosmith sings this song, right?"
Oh, come together.
Come together. I was like, she goes, "This is Aerosmith, right?"
Yeah.
That right there was enough for me.
Do you know
I love Aerosmith, don't get me wrong.
Do you know what that was from?
No.
Well, so they did a movie called Sgt. Pepper's Lonely Hearts Club
Yes.
Band. It had Peter Frampton and the Bee Gees in it. They recorded it for that.
And then it just
they were in it.
Okay.
They were
I'm gonna have
in
to look
it.
that up.
You should watch that movie.
I'll have to look it up, yeah. It's fun when people...
It's
a lot
campy.
Of times,
it's campy. So you kind of got to get past that. Well, you know what? It ruined Peter Frampton's career.
did it?
It did.
Oh, so
he
perfect. I really got to go watch it.
He was humongous in the mid 70s. That movie came out in like 78, I believe. And it actually sort of ruined his career, unfortunately for him.
That's
in
crazy.
a way, because he's a great musician.
Oh, yeah.
But he was kind of the lead, and then the Sgt. Pepper's. It was like they were a band, and they were called Sgt. Pepper's Lonely Hearts Club Band. Peter Frampton and then the Bee Gees. They were that was the band. And so you should watch it.
I'm definitely have to look that up because I love it when people bring out they are like, "Oh, you ever seen this or you ever seen that?" And it's related to the Beatles or a documentary or something. And I'm like, nope, but I will go find it because I've seen quite a few, and I've almost been convinced that Paul McCartney's really dead. There's all kinds of the funny stories, and regardless if he did die, this Paul McCartney is all I've ever known, so I'm good with it.
He's done pretty good.
He's done pretty good.
Yeah.
So, but I mean, some people might not understand that because, like I said, we get it, but it's that generation, that music. It's kind of where, like I said, I'm kind of an old soul. That's hanging out with my grandma, getting that, like Mamas and the Papas, and Elton John, and just that's like the feel. It was good, and man, that nostalgia's coming back.
Well, the other thing is that like I try to explain to my son Jude, quite a bit because he's into music, and now he's kind of reached the age where he's wanting to find his own groups own music, and now he sort of downplays what I like. We're just a little in. We're just a little bit, just a little bit. But I even if that's the case, the one thing that I wish it's the same thing as going to the midnight movies. These bands that were so big at one time, you can't understand how big like U2 was in 1987. I mean, it was just, oh my God, the Beatles. I mean, there's been a handful of them. I mean, Michael Jackson, how big he was in the early 80s. It was just, that stuff will really, the closest thing really is Taylor Swift. I mean, and I don't know her music, and I probably wouldn't necessarily
I've got
be a fan,
3 girls,
but what I would tell you is I have a lot of respect for her because she's done something that hadn't been done in a long time because of the way the industry's set up. There really is no record industry anymore. I grew up with a record industry.
You can't go to a record store and
with that.
We used to go and sit there and listen to records or CDs or tapes whenever they'd have the demo and you'd stick it in and you listen to it and you're like, yep, I like this, I'm buying it. Like,
but she's the only one, So I miss that for generations.
That is very true.
When I was growing up, I would have never thought that it was going to go away. And what has turned out to be is it was kind of a fad that happened from the mid '60s to about 2000.
I never really thought about that
and
kind of
gone.
aspect of it. Yeah,
and it's not coming back.
That's sad because Taylor Swift alone, like you said, not really knowing her music. I'm not a huge Swiftie. I like some of her songs. Don't get me wrong. Sorry, don't come at me.
Yeah.
And I respect her because she is, like, if you watch her documentaries about the tour and everything, it is not just some, this is it, this we're doing. She is like intertwining these, she is doing something for her. She's including her fans. She's bringing them in and these little secret things and all that. There's things that, like you said, that people don't do anymore, and we don't have that aspect. They put out, we don't get albums anymore. We get singles. We get a song.
Yep.
We get a song.
Yep.
We get a song. And then 5 years layer, we get 5-6 years in between and we finally get another album.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And it's kind of, we did lose that kind of, like you said, the Beatles, people literally, like my grandma, she tells me, she's like, I remember when the Beatles came, girls were passing out. They were wetting themselves. They were, just hysterical. And to us, to people nowadays, like some may be very into whoever they are, and they are that way. But for the most part, like I said, it doesn't happen anymore. We don't get that. And like I said, Taylor Swift is probably the closest thing.
It's going to happen on occasion. It just doesn't happen the way it did all the time.
No. And people think like Post Malone or these other artists that are big. They're big, but it's not anywhere close to how it used to be.
Yeah.
That's a good point because I've never really thought about that kind of side of it. You really did. You lose that. Like you said, Michael Jackson.
Well, now you can learn all about him in just 45 seconds.
Yeah,
whereas there was a mystery. You didn't know that much about U2 when they first came out. If you did, you had to really dig to figure it out. And that's what helped build their fan base was the mystery.
Yeah.
And if you saw somebody, whether you like U2 or not, they were humongous. It was crazy how big they were. And I don't know. I think that stinks that that generations won't see that.
I think that does stink because my kids are music nuts. They love my daughter. Her first concert, she loves Slipknot. We took her to Slipknot to be okay.
Oh, wow.
And she was 7 years.
Not my kind of music, but that's okay.
But she
does she still have nightmares or?
No, she loved it. Had the time of her life. She was like, she had her headphones on and she was just the whole time. And we're up. We bought cheap seats. We're up at the top, which that was sketchy. Being that high on the BOK and you're like in this little seat, it was really weird feeling. But she loved it. And I was like, heck yeah. But she's one of those that will listen to David Bowie, listen to Beatles. She's listening to ABBA. She went to, they had a Swedish ABBA cover band that came in and my in-laws went. She wanted to go, so they bought her a ticket and took her too. And she loved it. She went up on stage and was dancing with them there. So and then yesterday I got to play her. My son had GarageBand on his tablet and we were writing music and he was making music on there and just play. It's for me as a musical person and with my kids and to be able to connect with that. It's fun to be able to, for my kids to be like, oh, that's the Beatles. That's Mama and the Papas. That's
I like that.
Clearwater.
They can do that.
They know those songs because that's what they've listened to. And so they're going to be, in high school going, oh yeah, my favorite song's this. And they're going to be like, huh? And they're like, well, by the Beatles. And they're like,
who?
I've never heard that song before. It's that obstruct, weird song that, somebody that was on the B-side of some album that nobody really listened to.
Right.
And so but that's just the way it works. Yeah. It's fun that I feel proud. I'm like, if I do anything and that's how
you get that.
I'm good. I feel pretty proud of myself to teach them that because music is very important in life. It's gotten me through some good times and bad times.
That's right.
It paid my bills for a long time.
That's good.
Music that's what it is.
Yeah.
And so, movies, music. I tell people I'm in video games, things like that. I never really kind of nerded out over that stuff.
Yeah.
But movies, music, total nerd. Like I
Yeah.
can go all day with it. It's
Well,
that's fun. It's what I like.
I'm glad to hear that. My kid's first concert was Paul McCartney.
Gosh, man, lucky.
Well, I had to take him. I had to take him
mean,
to
you
that
have
because it was last October, and I was
Yeah.
so looking forward to it when they were playing
Yeah.
"Hey Jude," and I'm looking at my son Jude.
Yeah,
I mean, it's just.
I just couldn't pay the money for it hurts me. I just can't do it. Like
No,
I want
paid
to,
a lot
I
of
really
money.
want to, but
I paid a lot of money.
I'm like I've got to be dad and pay for the mortgage and stuff like that compared to that. But it was so much. But my first concert was Carmen. Remember Carmen from Tulsa, the the Christian rock singer?
Oh, Christian, yeah.
Yeah, Carmen.
Yeah.
That was my first show at the.
Well, mine was The Who.
Shoot, you guys got good. But I mean, shoot, I didn't have that kind of stuff back then. My wife's Aerosmith was her first one. So
Aerosmith.
yeah, she's got it better than me. But I still like to claim, Carmen was my first one. He's local.
It's okay.
It was a
Yeah,
fun
yeah.
one. Shoot, I liked him so much. He used to do like signings at Walmarts.
Yeah.
Like Walmart here in Memorial.
Oh, wow.
I went to a signing, a Carmen
Interesting.
signing. I have a picture of him. He's got this like silk shirt on. It's buttoned down to like here, so his chest hair is out, and I'm standing next to him like this, and he's.
Yeah.
You know what I'm talking. If people don't know Carmen, go look him up. You'll know what I'm talking
I
about.
know who he is. Yeah.
But he was, to me, it was awesome.
Yeah.
I loved it. But it's fun. Music like takes on that role, and it's very important in movies and how it all connects and goes together. People don't realize, and how everything
true.
the structure is. We kind of got off on a tangent about music and stuff, but that's the fun thing about this podcast. We
Yeah.
do whatever the hell we want to talk about, and we
Yeah.
can go for it because it's
Well,
fun
I mean,
and
I don't
it's
know
what
how
we
much,
know.
I don't know how much else you can talk about the drive-in, but
Right. But we get to know you. I mean, we talk about, we know that you are into music, so that's
Yeah.
cool. I mean,
Yeah.
growing up in that time frame, like I get jealous. I wish I really would.
Yeah,
I wish I would have had
I
that.
understand it.
That
But then
time
you'd be
frames.
old. That's the downside.
I'm okay with being old. I think I would rather.
Well, you're not old.
I know that's okay.
You're
I
at a
wish I
great
was
age. You're at a
old.
great age.
I wish
Yeah.
I think if I was old and I got to grow up in that time frame, I think I'd just be okay with it. Just let me go. 'Cause I
see
know what
people
I mean?
quote, I'm old, but I got to see Led Zeppelin.
Exactly. Exactly.
So
Like,
I didn't see Led Zeppelin.
I'll
by
take
the
all
way.
that if I could see all that.
That was just a touch
Yeah.
before
But
my
yeah,
time.
you don't get that. So I don't know. Times were different.
Yeah.
I feel like, and that's what's coming back. And I think it'll be a good year for you guys. I think you guys are, like I said, maybe start off a little slow because the rain and stuff, but
Yep.
we got some stuff coming. People want to have that nostalgic. Guys, like load the kids up in the car, get the girlfriend, come
Yep.
over here, do something different than the normal. Like you said, there's so much to do here, and you kind of forget about it. Load them up in the car, come over here.
Come to the Admiral Twin Drive In.
Watch a movie. I mean, it's not that much. It's not expensive.
Yeah.
It's, what is it, $10 person?
Yeah, $10 for 12 and up, and $5 for ages 3 through 11.
That's nothing.
Occasionally, we'll do a carload night.
Right. Yeah,
we'll
like,
throw in some carload
yeah.
stuff there, and
Because you used to do car loads, like, didn't it? Somewhat. Some people, like,
for the most part, we've always been per person.
per person, okay.
Yeah.
But other lots, they always done
Some drive-ins.
car lot.
I mean,
but you could really get yourself in trouble with that one. You just throw 20 people inside of a car and.
well, I
suck
mean,
it.
you know what? Bring them
It
on,
happens.
babe. That's all right. That's all right. If they want to bring them out, I'd love to
Do
see
it.
it. Just out of fun
Fill it
sake,
up.
see 20 people get out of a car.
You're like, come on.
Maybe we should
But-
have a contest. See how many people.
See who can get in
Yeah,
there.
yeah.
You can't make sure you don't drive all the way here because then you don't want people coming after you, like getting in a wreck. Like, he told us to put 30 people in the car and we got in a wreck.
That's true.
That's
true. It could be a liability.
So do it down the road and then come in. But yeah, that would be fun. But you can do those. It's laid back, chill,
Yeah.
come in here.
It's very
grab some
laid back. We're
popcorn.
very laid back here. I mean, everything kind of goes, and we just want people to be safe and just have fun.
Enjoy the movie, enjoy your time. Yeah. That's nothing wrong with that.
Yeah.
I love that. And so, I mean, so when do you guys are open, you April-ish, March to October.
Mm-hmm.
Are you open are you open like Monday through Friday?
So right now we're just
days,
open on the
weekends?
weekends,
Okay.
but this coming weekend, again, I don't know when this airs, but for Memorial Day weekend, we'll be open Friday, Saturday, Sunday, and Monday. And then the following weekend, we'll start going 5 days. We'll be closed on Mondays and Tuesdays.
Mondays and Tuesdays. So Wednesday, so in a couple weeks, summer's starting, things like that.
We'll be open. We'll be open
Basically-
5 days a week. Maybe when we get to Toy Story and Minions, we might be open 7 days a week. It kind of depends.
Just to be.
Yeah. I mean, generally in the past, I've always been open 7 days a week once school gets out.
Yeah.
But, people's habits have changed a little bit. And, staffing's become a little bit harder.
Yeah, it gives some time people off.
Yeah, it gives people time to be off.
Because they're working every single night.
Yeah.
It's night, so you
The
come
other
in here
change,
at night and
the other change is we're going to do double features on Fridays and Saturdays. We will this coming Sunday, but just do single bills through the week. People's habits have changed. Trying to allocate 4 or 5 hours to go to movies on a Monday through Thursday is hard.
You got to wake up and go to work.
You got to go
tomorrow.
to work.
Kids don't have to go to school, but you got to go to work. Things like you still have stuff to do. So
used to in the past, people would, way back. I mean, in the 80s and the 90s, we could open up 2 to 3 hours before showtime, and people would be here, throwing the frisbee and baseball and football and whatnot. And anymore, everybody waits to the last minute to do everything. Everybody's on their phone, So we can be open an hour ahead of time, and I'll stand out there doing nothing, and then right at showtime, everybody comes.
Everybody's coming. You're like,
like, where y'all been? Then they complain a little bit. Why don't you have more lanes open? Well, I've been here for an hour. Where y'all been?
The movie's been ready.
We're ready to go. So now there's a line.
Yeah.
We're thankful for people coming out.
Yeah.
So, but
just remember that because people get really. They think they know exactly how it's supposed to roll and how exactly it should go. With business owners, and they go in and they're like, "Well, you should be doing this, or you should." They don't realize all the stuff that kind of like, well, we don't do this because this would happen and then this would happen and this. There's different things that kind of go along with it. Like, remember that. You might get back to the line. If you don't want to get back to the line, maybe leave a little bit earlier. Come and hang out. Throw the ball around. The frisbee, you're out here enjoying the outside anyways. Come out. Have some popcorn.
Early.
Get some drinks. Have some fun while you're waiting for the movie to come, and then settle in.
Yeah.
So if you don't want to wait in the lines, come early.
Not the world we live in.
Yeah. And I mean, everybody is instant gratification.
It is.
Everybody drives 100 miles an hour because they're the only people on the road and they're the place to go.
And they waited too long to go to work.
And it's funny, you pull up at the stoplight at the same time.
Yeah.
It's the people that come flying past you and then you pull up at the stoplight.
Yeah.
You're at the same exact spot, buddy. But people are always in a hurry.
Yeah.
And I think we all, like I was telling my friend Jordan, I think we're getting older too because I don't like to drive as fast as I used to. And I hit 66 and I hit that cruise control and I'm just,
I'm good to go.
I'll get where when I need to get there. And people, are getting mad at me and stuff. But I'm like, one, I don't need a ticket. I can't afford any of that stuff. And two, like, I want to live and get home to my family, and driving like a maniac like I used to drive that can only get me so far. Eventually, we'll catch up with you.
Right.
And so I'm like, oh man, I drive slow. Take your time, relax. So come on, I leave early. I'm like, whatever. So leave early. Come out here. Go old school.
Yeah.
Have an old school night. Have some fun and do those kind of things. And I mean, just really enjoy that. So you got, like I said, we got some awesome events coming up. You've been here for a long while running this thing. No plans to go, which is awesome. I love it. 75th year, so congratulations on that.
Thanks.
I mean, like I said, not many places, iconic places, make it like that. We don't get that kind of. We don't get to celebrate 75 years with certain things.
It's true.
I mean, some people don't even get to celebrate that many years.
That's
so
true.
Like that's huge. That's really cool. I mean, and 25 years, it's going to go by quick too. It'll be 100 years before we know it, and it'll be. And I honestly, I kind of hope still standing here. I really do. I don't
know if I'll still be standing with us, but I'll be pushing it at that point.
Hey, you never know.
You don't. That's true.
Modern technology, you can live forever.
My dad's 83.
Is it? So there you go. You could be there.
Yeah, I might be. Might still be here.
You could be there.
Who knows?
But it is really cool what you guys are doing here. I think that it is coming back in that time where we want to do those things that we did when we were a kid, or even with our grandparents or whatever it was. And I think that'll play into it. I can't wait. We'll definitely be here multiple times this year.
Well, good.
I mean, we've got, like I said, I've got to come watch Toy Story, and it's a lot easier to come watch. I'll admit it, but Toy Story, the last one, I bawled my eyes out at the end. I was like, "No, don't leave, Woody. Just stay. Don't stay there.
Yeah.
You gotta go." And so this way, I can cry and not look so much up.
That's right.
So
if you're worried about
somebody's
that.
sitting right next to me in the chair, like I'm literally sharing the armrest with them.
Yeah.
Oh no, and we're watching grown man go crying about toys. So you can come out here and watch those things. You can cry. You don't know what I'll have to know. You can sit in your car. Nobody will ever know. So
nobody know.
You can do those things. But Blake, I appreciate you really just taking the time coming out here, because time is money. Time is everything whenever you're a business owner and you're running those things.
Yeah.
So giving your time to come over here and chat with me, talk to you. It's been really cool. I hope, we get to stay connected throughout the future and be friends with this, because I feel like we're Beatle buddies now. So like, it's just the way it goes.
Beatle kids.
We're Beatle kids. Exactly. That's what I tell people. Like, I've been listening to them since I was literally as far as I can remember.
Yeah.
Like singing, I sang 8 days a week at one of our choir competitions one time when I was a kid. Like I was like, yeah, I'm singing 8 days a week. And they're like, all right, yeah, you can sing that. But it's, I think what you're doing here is cool. I love the history of it. It's funny. We always heard, I don't know if I always heard like weird rumors of the mob bought this and the mob bought that. And the mob had that back in, I don't know, I want to say 70s, something. The mob had this. It was a mob thing. And there's always kind of fun little history stories.
I never heard that.
You haven't heard that one?
No.
Oh yeah. No. I even had somebody about, I don't know, he's probably he's probably in 40-ish, so he's close to, my age and stuff. And he was like, oh, I remember when I was a teenager, I heard like the mob bought it. And I started laughing. I was like, yeah, I heard that. I was like, no, his family's been there since the 80s. They've been there, But
I don't think it was a mob.
Was your dad in a mob? You didn't know it?
He wasn't. No, he had to deal with the mob in Chicago a little bit.
Did he?
Yeah.
Maybe that's why
nothing out here. Nothing out here.
Yeah, that's funny. That's really cool, though. But thanks for taking the time. Thanks for keeping it going. Thanks for bringing it back whenever we thought it was gone.
Yeah.
And you ever need anything, want to help, I'll gladly come over here and try to help promote you guys and boost you up. Like I said, not that many people listen to me, but shoot, a handful do, and those might be the ones that come on in this season. So,
well, maybe people will watch or listen. Or
both, whatever it is. You
Yeah.
can watch or listen. If you're driving, please don't watch.
Yeah.
But anyways, Blake, I appreciate you being on. Thank you so much. Guys, this season, come out here. It's not hard to find. You can look it up where it's at. It's right off of 244. You can't miss it. If you're coming from Catoosa, Claremore area, get off at Memorial, turn right, and then
Easton.
left.
Yep, on
and
Easton.
Then
yep.
Go there. I don't like saying east and west anymore, because I've had like employees and stuff. I'm like, go east and then turn, and they're like,
what's east?
Left or right?
Yeah.
Sorry, any more kids these days, you got to say left or right.
Yeah.
Left or right. But then come on over here. If you're coming back, you get off of Sheridan, right?
Yep.
Sheridan, if you're coming from the other way. So those where you need to get off, come watch a movie. Just enjoy it. Bring the kids, bring the girlfriend, the wife, have some fun.
That's right.
Come
on out.
It'll be, I promise, you will have a good time.
Yeah.
And I always, this is one little trick that I've done. I always like to bring a little radio, battery powered radio.
You should bring a radio. That's true.
Because if you have your car, you're going to have your car turned on. You don't want to have just a radio.
People don't have boom boxes like they used to, but if you have one, those are perfect.
And you can,
you can still get them.
You can go to Walmart and buy like a little shower radio for nothing.
Just got to make sure you get FM FM,
yes.
And it's not broadcast on the internet, so there's no app.
It's not an app like you
There's
put
no
up.
app.
Yeah, you got to do.
That's the most popular question I get. What's the app for sound? And I'm like, well, if you will figure out how to do it, we can do it.
Yeah.
But nobody's come up with it yet.
Because, you got to think about how.
Because it's broadcast through an FM transmitter.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Coming from a digital.
It's not an internet thing.
Yeah. So it's not like that. That's people, which you would think somebody would have already figured that out.
Well, people have tried, but there've been these delays,
How's that?
like 7-second delays and stuff. Yeah. So
you
see somebody talk and then they talk.
You didn't think about that.
Yeah.
You didn't think about that. Yeah.
And we don't want
and
that.
Sound, that'd be kind of hard.
Yeah.
That would really, that's one of my,
hard to watch.
When the TV's off or something, you're like, what is going on?
Yeah.
Yeah, I get that. So somebody else figure it out. Come on, you'll be rich. But bring her a little radio with you.
That's right.
That will be, I promise it'll come in handy, so you don't have to leave the car on.
There you go.
If you want to sit in the back of the truck, you can still hear it well and things like that. That's a good tip that I always bring one with me. So, like I said, you get like a little shower radio for $10 at Walmart.
Yep.
Easy.
Sounds
so
good.
come on over here, come enjoy it, have fun. Blake, I appreciate you.
All right,
man.
thanks.
Thank you so much, guys. Thanks for listening. Thanks for watching to another episode of Never Know Stranger Than Light. We'll talk to you soon.